The morning air touches my face before I even start moving. It is cool enough to make me pull my shoulders in a little. I stand outside the small house for a moment, not because I have nothing to do, but because I know, once I begin, the day will keep asking for my hands. The seedlings are the first thing I check. They are so small that I always feel a little nervous touching them. I look at the soil, then the leaves, then the thin stems. A part of me is already wondering if the sun will be too strong today, or if I watered them enough yesterday. Before going out, I make a simple breakfast. Just a few pieces of sticky rice cake, nothing else. It is plain and quiet, but somehow it feels enough, like something small that can still carry me through the morning. I eat slowly. The sticky rice cake is plain, but that plainness makes it easy to swallow when my mind is already outside. I keep thinking about the little plants, the garden, and the path down to the stream. My body is sitting here, but my thoughts have already walked ahead of me. The water cools my throat, and I hold the bottle a little longer than I need to. It is only a small pause, but in the countryside, small pauses matter. They are the few seconds you give yourself before your back bends, your hands get dirty, and your feet start choosing the path. When I crouch down outside, the damp ground presses against my feet. I pull the small plants carefully, and the wet soil sticks under my fingernails almost right away. This is the kind of work that looks quiet from the outside, but inside my body, I can already feel the morning starting. The soil is heavier than it looks. Each scoop pulls at my wrist, and I can feel yesterday's tiredness waking up in my arms. I do not complain out loud. I just breathe through it and tell myself, one more scoop, then one more. I carry the box carefully because if the soil spills, the morning will punish me with extra work. The box pulls my arms down, and I have to tighten my fingers around the edge. It is a small struggle, but these small struggles fill most days here. When I place the seedlings into the new soil, my hands become gentler without me trying. I press around the roots with my fingertips, careful not to bury them too deep. In my head, I keep thinking, stay with me, just survive the first day. Some of the stems lean to one side, and I fix them again and again. It is such a tiny thing, but I cannot leave them crooked. Maybe because I know how easily small things can fail when nobody pays attention. The water falls softly into the soil. I watch it sink in, almost holding my breath. If I pour too fast, the roots may loosen. If I pour too little, they will suffer before the sun is high. Even watering becomes a kind of listening. Before heading out, I take the knife and slide it carefully into the basket. I make sure it sits securely, not too loose, not pressing against anything that could shift. It is a small habit, but I always check twice. Out here, having it within reach matters more than I like to admit. In the garden, the grass brushes against my legs, still wet from the morning. I slow down under the trees. Fruit makes you patient whether you want to be patient or not. I touch one green fruit and know right away it is not ready. I leave the fruit on the branch. There is always a small disappointment in that, because the basket feels empty and my hands want to do something. But forcing something too early never gives a good result. I have learned that from plants, and maybe from life too. The garden gets thicker as I move in. Leaves overlap leaves, vines cross over each other, and I have to look slowly to understand what I am seeing. This kind of place can hide a lot. Sometimes it hides food, sometimes it hides trouble. Then I see the ears, small ears, lifting between the green vines. My first reaction is almost a laugh, but I swallow it back. They look too comfortable there, like they have been coming to my garden without asking for permission. I step closer and my whole body becomes quieter. Even my breathing feels too loud. I do not want to scare them all at once. I only want to understand where they came from, where they run, and how much of my garden they have already found. When I crouch down, I can see the marks clearly. Some leaves are bent, some vines are pressed flat. My fingers touch the damaged stems, and that small worry sits in my chest. A garden does not cry when something hurts it. It just shows you the damage quietly. I stand still for a few seconds, trying to decide what to do next. Part of me wants to stay and fix the plants. Another part of me knows I should follow the signs while they are still fresh. So I turn back for the basket, already feeling the morning becoming longer than I planned. The bamboo gate makes a dry little sound when I open it. I always notice that sound. It feels like the house is behind me now, and whatever happens next belongs to the path. I step out with the basket on my back and try not to think about how far I may have to walk. The path slopes down, and the basket shifts against my back with every step. Even when it is empty, it reminds me it is there. I watch my feet carefully. One loose stone, one wet patch of grass, and the whole morning can change very quickly. From a distance, the stream looks gentle, but standing beside it, I can hear the water moving over the stones. That sound always makes me more careful. Water does not need to be deep to make you lose your balance. The cold water climbs up my legs so suddenly that I breathe out through my teeth. I lift the basket higher and move 1 foot at a time. My toes search for steady stones under the water. For a moment, all I can think is, do not slip. Not here. After the stream, the air feels wetter. Leaves touch my sleeves, ferns brush my arms, and every small sound makes me turn my head. I am not just walking anymore. I am trying to read the place. The broken grass, the loose soil, the way leaves move when there is no wind. I notice a small hollow in the earth and squat down right away. The soil around it looks loose, like something has moved through recently. My hands touch the ground before I even think about it. I feel that little pull of curiosity, the kind that makes you forget how tired your legs are. I look closely, but there is no clear answer. Just roots, damp soil, and marks that may mean something or nothing at all. This is the frustrating part. The forest never explains itself. It only gives you hints and waits to see if you have enough patience. I keep moving. The grass is higher now, and the path almost disappears in places. Branches catch the basket, and each time I pull free, I feel a little more tired. But I keep looking. Once I have seen the rabbits in the garden, it is hard to stop wondering where they came from. When I reach the rocks, I finally sit down. My shoulders drop as if they have been waiting for permission. I listen to the stream and let my breathing slow down. I am not done, but my body needs a moment to believe it can keep going. The water on my face feels sharp and cold. It clears the heaviness from my eyes for a moment. I wipe my mouth and sit there without speaking. Sometimes being alone outside feels good, but sometimes it also makes every small sound feel bigger. Then I hear it, a quick rustle near the old roots. My body freezes before I even decide to stop. I turn my head slowly. There is a strange feeling in that second. Half hope, half warning, like the forest has finally answered, but only in a whisper. A gray rabbit is sitting near the tree. It is so still that I almost doubt what I am seeing. My heart starts beating harder, but I keep my face calm. If I move too fast, it will vanish, and all I will have left is the sound of leaves closing behind it. I lower myself slowly. My knees press into the damp ground, and I can feel the cold through my clothes. I keep my hands open, not ready to grab yet. I tell myself, wait, let it think you are not a danger. The rabbit slips into the hollow between the roots. My stomach tightens. Now I cannot see it clearly, and that makes everything harder. I lean closer, trying to be gentle and quick at the same time, which is almost impossible. My fingers search inside the dark space under the roots. For a second, I feel only soil and rough bark. Then I touch something warm and soft, and my whole body reacts. I close my hands carefully, firm enough to hold, but not so hard that I hurt it. When I lift it out, I can feel its small body moving against my palms. It is warmer than I expected. After all that walking, searching, and guessing, the moment feels strangely quiet. Not loud, not dramatic, just real. I hold the rabbit close to my chest and breathe out slowly. My hands are still tense, but my mind begins to settle. Around me, the leaves are wet, the basket is nearby, and the stream keeps moving as if nothing unusual has happened. I do not leave right away. After catching the rabbit, I take out my knife and start clearing the thick grass and small branches around the base of the tree. The area is quite dense, and it feels like there could still be something hidden underneath. I move slowly, cutting just enough to open up the ground without making too much noise. The rabbit in my basket is quiet, but my mind is still focused on checking every corner. I crouch down again near the old tree. The roots twist into the soil like they have been holding this place together for years. I move my hand carefully around the hollow spaces. My fingers touch damp dirt, rough bark, and dry leaves. I keep thinking, slowly, if there is another one, do not scare it too soon. After a while, I stop and look around one last time. Since I cannot find any more rabbits, I decide it is time to head back. When I finally turn back, my legs feel heavier than before. The way home is the same path, but it never feels the same when you are carrying something alive. I keep one hand near the basket, listening for any little movement behind me. Back near the animal pen, the air feels more open. I did not realize how tight my shoulders were until I stood on familiar ground again. I walk closer to the cage and slow down, because after all the rushing in my head, I do not want the rabbits to feel that fear from me. I squat down by the pen and look at the black pigs inside. They are moving slowly in the shade, calm in their own little world. After walking through thick grass and listening for every small sound, even watching them breathe behind the fence makes my body loosen a little. Then I check the small guinea pigs in the green mesh pen. They move in quick little bursts, noses twitching, bodies pressing close to the floor. Their world is so small, but they notice everything. The sound of my hand near the mesh is enough to make them pause. After checking them, I walk back out into the yard. My eyes keep moving from the rabbits in the basket to the trees around me. I know I cannot just leave them like that. If I brought them home, I need to make space for them before the day gets away from me. I start clearing and gathering small branches. Some are dry, some still have a little life in them. Every time I bend down, my back reminds me that I have already done a lot this morning. But this is the kind of work that cannot wait until tomorrow. The goats come close to the fresh leaves, chewing like they have been waiting for this moment. I watch them for a few seconds and almost smile. They never worry about my plans. To them, a pile of green leaves is simply a good thing happening right now. Rain starts to fall, so I quickly guide the goats back into their pen. They move in without much trouble, shaking off the first drops as they settle inside. Once they're all in, I close the gate and take a moment to check it carefully. I make sure the latch is tight, the fence is secure, and there are no gaps where anything could get in or out. Listening to the rain falling outside. The sound on the roof feels steady and close, making the space around me feel smaller and safer. I take a drink slowly, and the cool water makes me realize how dry my throat has become. My hands are still dirty, and for a moment I let myself stay here, waiting for the rain to pass. I sit there for a moment longer, Looking out through the bamboo wall, the rain has eased and the air feels lighter outside. Part of me still wants to rest, but I know this is the right time to continue. So I stand up again, deciding to go back out and keep working on the pen while the weather holds. I carry the wooden stakes out to a clear spot under the trees. The pieces knock against each other in my arms, dry and rough. I choose this place because it has shade, soft ground, and enough room for them to move without feeling too exposed. I push the first stake into the ground and test it with my hand. It wobbles a little, so I press harder. My palms start to feel sore, but I keep checking each one. A weak post may look fine now, but later it will be the first place that fails. I pull the white mesh around the stakes slowly. It catches on the bark, catches on my sleeve, catches on every rough edge it can find. I almost rush through it, then stop myself. This little fence is not for looking nice. It has to hold. I tie the mesh by hand, one knot at a time. My fingers feel stiff, but I keep looking for gaps. Rabbits are smaller than they seem when they want to get through something. That thought makes me pull each knot tighter than the last. When the fence finally stands, I sit inside it for a moment and look around from the rabbit's height. From down here, the yard feels bigger, the trees feel taller, and even a small opening near the ground looks important. I fix it before I bring them in. I bring the basket over and lower it carefully. The rabbits stay close together at first, their bodies still tense. I do not rush them out. I let them smell the ground, the leaves, the new air. After a long morning, they deserve a slower beginning here. When I set them down, they pause for a few seconds. The white one keeps low to the ground. The gray one lifts its head and listens. I stay nearby, quiet enough for them to forget. My hands were the thing that carried them here. I place fresh leaves in front of them. At first, they only smell it. Then one of them takes a small bite. That tiny sound of chewing loosens something in my chest. It is not a big moment, but it tells me they are beginning to settle. When I step back inside, the house feels quiet in a different way. This morning started with seedlings, soil, and a few small worries in the garden. It led me through the stream, into the thick grass, and back home with rabbits in my basket. Now they have a place for the night, and my body is tired in a way that feels honest. Thank you for spending this day with me. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. I will see you again in the next video.